Welcome to Superbike School UK. In this episode, Derek and I learn to do the two-step, I get a crash course in wet weather riding, and we take a peek at Al's charmed life as a bike journo and British supersport racer. Join me, Sheila Nair, as we continue our journey with three very different riders through the school. Al Fagan is a bike journalist and racer, but even he can learn a few things. Derek Redmond, 400-metre Olympian, is looking to take his track riding to the next level. And then there's me. I just want to go faster. Track day advice just hasn't cut it for me, so I'm looking to Andy and the California Superbike School to change my riding for good. For those new to the series, the California Superbike School is a brainchild of one man, Keith Code. Basic idea of the school: if you're faster in the corner, you'll be faster all round.
I didn't really start to train people for professional racing until the end of 1980.
In 1980, the California Superbike School was born. The school soon began to attract attention from riders and racers worldwide, and in 1999, Andy Ibbott became the school's first British coach in Europe. The linchpin of the school's European effort, he also works with some of motorcycle racing's brightest stars.
Once we've got the basics of good throttle control and getting the bike stable, we need to start to work on the visual skills. This starts at the end of level 1 with the two-step. The two-step is a method of gathering information about the turn before you actually start to commit to it. Now, we all look into the corner already, but the two-step allows us to get very precise information about what we need to do next before we actually turn the bike in. Two steps are this. First step is to locate where you're going to turn in. So that's step 1. Okay, so from back here. Now, once you know where you're going to turn the bike in, provided you don't mess with the bike in any way, will it go to that place? Yes. Should do, shouldn't it? Okay, so once you know where you're going to turn, okay, motorcycle's starting to head towards it. So you go, great, that's good. Now you know it's definitely going to head there, you can actually take your attention off of the cone and start to look for your apex point. But actually what we need to do is combine the looking in with the turn point now. Combine the two things together. So we can look in early to discover where we want to go before we actually turn next to the cone. Is that making sense? So by the time you get to here, you already know where you're going to end up there. What effect is that going to have on your riding? You're going to feel more relaxed, aren't you? Remember I said this morning, you said we're going to take your riding apart and slowly put it back together? Well, this is the final bit. This is the glue that makes it go click and into place. And so good is this particular drill at doing that, that you actually can forget about all those things. Okay? You can forget all those. All you've got to concentrate on this, which is this drill that we call the two-step.
In all these points, as with the turn point and with the apex, you stop looking at it once you're confident that you're going to hit it. Once you're confident you're going to hit it, you're done with it. Let's look at the next point that we want to go to. And generally speaking, it's about half a second before you get there. You know, you've been looking at the turn point for the last 10 seconds. Unless you do something radically crazy, you're going to hit it. So once you're confident you're going to hit it, you're done with that. Look away to the next point. So about half a second is right. Half to 1 second is the answer. Comfy with that?
Yeah.
Come on then, show me.
I find it right hand a lot easier. Yep. Hairpins I'm not great at, and I wobble around hairpins, so I've got to get that one a little bit right.
Don't worry, as soon as you come on there though, you start to pick in.
Yeah.
If you don't pick up too early though,
yeah.
you have to just experiment with timing. Pick up the right time, and
Okay, all right. Yeah. Cool. Go.
Next up, we take a peek into the wonderful world that is Al Fagan.
Welcome to Casa de Fast Bikes. Yeah, I got into fast bikes and journalism through Benjamin, who is a writer tester at Fast Bike. There was a little competition at the time, basically become a Fast Bikes tester. 6 months later, Rich called me up and had an interview, and then 2 weeks later I was working in Fast Bike. So yeah, dream job. A typical day for me is getting to the office about 9 o'clock, emails, phone calls. Hello, Fast Bikes. Hello, Fast Bikes. Organising tests, organising bikes for all the tests, organising features. If we're testing, start a bit earlier, get the van, get the bikes, find some corner somewhere and meet the snapper and shoot. And this is the Fast Bikes garage. We usually get given a bike each by a manufacturer for the whole year, and it's our job to pimp them, make them look good, make them go faster, and tell readers what works and what doesn't, basically. This year I've got a Kawasaki ZX-10, nice bright orange colour, and also I'm lucky enough to have a Ducati Hypermoto on as well, which is awesome fun. And obviously riding bikes 2, 3, 4 times a week helps in some ways. In some ways in the racing, just being on a bike helps. Yeah, Castle Coombe is a special one to us because obviously being local, it's a big one for JHS as well, the team. That's how they get their business. A lot of their customers go there, and it's good to see their bikes and myself riding their bikes at the top and racing at the front.
Well, I own the team. That's first and foremost. I own the bikes, the truck. I do all the work. Build the bikes, tune the bikes, look after the bikes.
He spends the money as well.
I'm the boss.
That's fairly quick, fairly respectable. Then you've got the faster sort of times, 1:13s, and then when you step at the British level, again, there's another couple of seconds off that. So it's a massive gap between track days to club racing, and then probably an even bigger gap from club racing to British Championship level. To my right is the wet Super Sport bike. A bit softer, a bit softer engine too. Just generally more mellow for the wet weather conditions. This is my dry bike, full 130 plus brake Super Sport bike.
Now back to Andy and the two-step.
When are you going to have to turn your head? Yeah, before you turn the bike. Okay? So you're going to come along, you're going to see your turn point's out there, you see the cone coming along, you go, right, there's the cone. Okay, bike's definitely heading towards it. That's where I want to go next. Actually, if I do that, how am I going to keep a track of the cone? Yeah, can you start using some peripheral vision, some of this stuff over here? How much of this stuff are you using at the moment? It's like that, isn't it? Might as well go. Yeah? 2 steps. Turn your head before you turn the bike. Okay, hand signals then. Hand signals for this drill is this. 2 steps. Unfortunately, as you see, it will be like that. This is the riding coach telling you there's not enough of a gap between the two. He's still seeing you come down there and going, cone, look in. All right, rather than there's the cone, here it comes, look in, that's where I want to go, here it comes, turn the bike. Okay, that means more of a gap between the two. I remember I said at the beginning of the day that you need to have a certain amount of attention free to be able to learn. Well, this is the most important drill of the day. In fact, this is the most important drill, as far as I'm concerned, that we teach. So I want you to ride at a speed that allows you to do it correctly, because this is what brings it all together. So sure, ride with gears and brakes, but I want to see no more than 85%.
If I've learned anything, it's that so much of the school is just about relaxing and understanding what the bike is doing. You have to knock back your speed. something that would be all but impossible for me on a track day. But this is what you need to do if you want to learn and go faster. This space, I think, is what I like most about the school.
Now, if you're going into a turn this way, yeah, currently, beforehand, you had your shoulders out like that. And so you're sort of looking over your shoulder to go into turn. Now what I'm getting you to do is that. So your head's sat square on there.
I've always pushed my inside shoulder.
Don't do that.
So I was told yesterday.
No, just this is the shoulder that wants to face the way you're going. We're going over there. That's the way to go.
Coming up next, Al perfects his hook turns with Coach Jet. And when the heavens open, I get all bent out of shape. Stay tuned. Welcome back to part 2 of Superbike School UK. Coming up next, Derek and I enjoy the British summer. But first, Al perfects his hook turn with Coach Jet.
By the time we get to level 3, we're working on advanced body position. The hook turn allows us to tighten the line mid-corner or even at the entry or exit of the corner. It's a way of positioning our body on the bike to influence it without actually making it unstable, which, as we all know, is not a pleasant feeling.
Welcome to level 3. We'll make no apologies today. By the end of today, your leg should hurt if you're doing it right. Okay. So today's exercise, the first level is the hook turn. Okay. It's called the hook turn simply because of the shape that we're trying to create. So if you imagine a fish hook, and you've got a constant radius and then it tightens towards the end, you know, the barb at the end of a fish hook, that's the shape you're trying to create with the hook turn. So, have you ever gone into a corner and wished you had a slightly tighter line than maybe you'd set? Yeah? Maybe you've come across a diesel patch or a puddle you may see today and think, oh, it's grabbed your attention, and wished you could have maybe tightened the line a little bit. Yeah. Sounds something that we all like to do. Typically your option is to turn the motorcycle again, isn't it? So you'd roll out, you'd steer, but well bent over. You know, it breaks rule number 1, doesn't it? One steering input per turn. Okay. So we need something that affects the geometry of the motorcycle without steering it. Okay. And if you think of something that has a huge effect on a motorcycle? You. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you make up a good portion of the mass of the motorcycle, don't you? So if the bike was, say, horizontal, and that's where we got on the bike, and we sat in the middle, we compress it horizontally. If we move our weight forward, we're trying to do this. Okay? Make sense? So, we're going left. So, we're trying to tighten the corner, but also to pull the motorcycle in. Okay, so this isn't really pitching the motorcycle forward, is it? Okay, our weight is still central on the motorcycle. Okay? Here, the weight, this mass is moving forward now. Okay? So, we're not looking for you just to lean into the corner, we're looking for this body mass to move forward and in.
Riding in the wet is a whole skill set in itself. And I'm about to find out just what it takes.
Ever find yourself in this situation? You come up to the corner, it's wet, you go, okay, I want to apex over there. It's wet, I don't want much lean. So you go. It's not working, is it? Still needs to be over there, so what are you going to have to do some more of? Yeah, how are you feeling at this point? Okay, so as you're leaning it more, what's happening to the level of grip you got? Okay, so put a little bit of that in now, shall we? All right, still not there yet. What are you going to have to do some more of? There, and then you go, and you're coming out the corner and you're going. See the situation that you end up in? So had you come into the corner and turned it in and cracked the throttle just a little bit, and then just wound it on a little bit, would it have held its line better? Would you have had to have used as much lean angle? Okay, so I'm just giving you an example of how throttle control is just as important in the wet as it is in the dry, and how our natural reaction is to do the opposite thing all the time.
You know, in a couple of sessions' time, we won't even be thinking about it. But I do urge you all, if you're thinking about throttle control in this session, be really, really gentle with it. Be smooth, be careful, right? So build it up really, really gradually, take it nice and easy, and we'll be able to get round pretty much as normal. Okay? You all right with that?
Yeah, it would have been a lot better in the drive. Never had to have gone around the track in 4th gear only with no brakes. Not allowed to use any brakes, so something different.
I came off on the last lap. Yeah, end of the day, getting a bit tired, could do with a glass of water. And there's plenty of water around, which is probably why it happened, obviously. But yeah, not bad. The bike's okay, bit of a bent lever, but it'll live. I'll live. Go and get myself checked out. Now for the rubber glove. I've decommissioned my helmet. Can't wear that tomorrow. But yeah, all good, all fine. Adrenaline saw me through.
You were actually on the gas because you got that far through the corner, but then you gave too much gas, which made the back come out. Shut it, come back, and then you went.
I didn't actually know, didn't realise I'd shut it.
Yes, because it did come round a little bit, chopped it, stepped back, which made people go, ugh.
Okay, last session, last lap.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk us through it. What went on?
It was quite wet and...
Quite wet. It was a little bit more than quite wet.
But I also have a habit of putting on the throttle as I'm turning in, and so I end up having to dip the throttle a little bit.
Okay, so why would you have to dip the throttle if you turned in and rolled it on at the same time?
Because I'm not on my line.
Yeah, exactly. Whereabouts do you end up?
Anywhere but on my line.
Anywhere but on your line. Okay, so a bit random then.
Yeah. Also, when I was going into that corner, I think I had part of my body position when the back stepped out because it was wet, and as that stepped down, my body went that way, so it shut the throttle off even more.
Yeah.
And then.
The moment the back end started to come round on you and you rolled the throttle off, all the weight transferred to the front, so the back can't grip, and then boom, down you go. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind, that any time you feel a little bit uncomfortable with the bike, rolling it on is more likely to recover you from the situation than actually rolling it off. Very easy to say sitting here. Okay, it does take a little bit of commitment, shall we say, to be able to do that.
This mass needs supporting with something. Normally it's the arms, okay? So you're riding like this, and it's fine, it's nice and easy. What we don't want you to do is to get into this extreme position and put weight on this bar, okay? Because what's that going to do? It's just going to turn the bike, isn't it? Okay, which is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. Could have just steered the bike if that's what we're going to do. So, to be able to support this mass, we need to take that load. Where do you think we're going to take that load with? With your legs, yeah. So, we need to be locked in. We need a stable base to be able to take this weight. Okay, so we're here, we've got all the points of contact, legs locked on, and we're able to lower this mass without putting any weight on the bars. Okay? So the action is, we're in a left-hand turn, and we want to tighten the arc, so we're lowering the mass forward. And again, there's no weight on the bars. So, climb on board. Okay. So what bike do you ride?
675.
Okay, right, so get into your... Oh, it'll be a journalist, will it, eh? So, not that much. Half of this cheek, if you don't mind me prodding you. Go back, that's it. Because now, when you go to there, this leg starts to open out. Okay, so you want as much of this leg in purchase with that tank as possible. So we're going left, and then down, 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 As much as we can. As much of it, that's it. It is an exaggerated position. So don't think of this as a natural body position. We're trying to get in to the lowest, most forward position we can for the amount of time we need it. And then we come out of it. So don't think I'm going to make you ride around like this for 20 minutes. We want you today to be as stable as you can. I mean, you're going to hear that word a lot today, stability. Making you and the motorcycle act as one. OK, so whichever gives you the best purchase works for you. So is there any way you were struggling with?
The site, yeah, the
visuals from yesterday.
Definitely.
Okay. We've got all
You've got to forget about that for now, and then work on that, and then.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. But with regards to hook turn, you managed to do it everywhere?
Most places.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
You've seen an effect, you've seen a benefit.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Tune in next week when Derek and I explore some unusual lines. Andy shows Al what his knees are for. We discover just what it takes to wear the leathers of a California Superbike school coach. And Al has a few heart-stopping moments on the break.